Welcome class, Antonio Quirante again, your instructor for American National Government. Congratulations, you made it to the last week of our course. I'm sure all of you must be very excited, as I am too, to conclude our wonderful 5 weeks together. So as usual, I have a few things that I posted along with this video message. 2 articles, and they're related to our discussion topics about voter rights and voter ID laws. The couple articles that I've posted for you, the first one is a Fox News article, or actually video, that discusses, from last year there was a U.S. Supreme Court case that modified the Voting Rights Act, and essentially, just to backtrack a little bit, the Voting Rights Act required that in order for a state to change its voter rules, essentially, the federal government had to approve it. So the U.S. Supreme Court case last year actually struck down parts of the Voting Rights Act as it had existed previously, and essentially removed a few states from having to get what they call pre-clearance. That U.S. Supreme Court case was ruled in June of last year, 2013, and the Fox News video that I provided for you, linked onto this video message, talks about what Texas, as one of the states that had been basically removed from having to pre-clear its voting rights changes with the federal government, its reaction to the Attorney General's position, Eric Holder, to try and basically return Texas to having to get pre-clearance. So take a look at that video and see what you can glean from it, and if you can utilize it in your discussions, I think it would make for an interesting resource for you to take a look at and see where we were at last year and some of the things that the federal government tried to do in reaction to the U.S. Supreme Court decision. As you watch the video, I want you to harken back to our week 1 discussion about the checks powers that each of the coordinate branches of our federal government have on each other, and to just see what you can recall, which branches are at play here, and what specific check powers are involved. The second link that I have to this, our final video message, is a recording of an NPR, a National Public Radio, news story from January of this year, which is kind of an update and a continuation of this controversy where the U.S. Supreme Court struck down portions of the Voting Rights Act. And again, take a look at if you can identify as you listen to the audio file the 2 different positions, pros, cons, against what is trying to be done, and just to give you a hint, what's actually being done in this 2014, or what's referenced in this 2014 debate. It's a short debate, about 10 minutes long, on how Congress reacted to the U.S. Supreme Court's decision last year. So again, to underscore, the first video file from Fox News is going to involve 2 of the coordinate branches, of course the common link being the U.S. Supreme Court's decision, and the 2 other branches that are involved, and how they illustrate the checks and balances that we talked about in week 1. A good thing to take note of also with this NPR audio file is the pro and con analysis that's being done by the 2 main speakers. That's kind of the discussion I always like to imagine our colleagues in our course could develop over the course of our class over these last 5 weeks. So it's a good capstone to our experience together in our discussions, and the perennial pro-con analysis I've always been hoping you guys would take a hold of and understand and develop your skills on through our course. A little bit on our discussion questions this week. The first discussion question is going to be about political parties. And I want you to make sure that when you go and put your initial post this week, you do talk about 3 parties for one thing. You will have to talk about the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, and any of the other political parties that you want to talk about. But as you talk about the 3 political parties, I want you to focus on one, and this is described in the instructions to the discussion. I want you to focus on one particular issue. Okay, one particular issue, so you can see the 3 different perspectives on that issue. I would encourage you not to talk about education or the Affordable Care Act, since that's something that we've already gone over quite a bit in our prior weeks. So I'll be looking for a different topic other than those 2. In the weekly guidance, there's a nice matrix that's posted for you to try and use and organize your thoughts. I highly encourage you all to take a look at that matrix and write it out and fill it out before you actually do your actual initial post. So I'll be looking for that organization as outlined with that matrix. In that discussion question 1, there's also a video by Hyde, and it's really crucial for you to take a look at that. I've noticed in the past students tend to overlook this video. It's a very short video, but it again has another capstone issue for our final week together. It will highlight for you the kind of critical thinking that I hope over the last 5 weeks that we've been able to engender in our discussions and our written assignments. Critical thinking in the sense that don't just get spoon-fed something that you hear on the news, on TV, especially network TV. Don't get spoon-fed anything you watch on your favorite news channel as well. Take the time to kind of critically think about not only what you inherently believe, but also to take a look and analyze what the counter-arguments are. In doing so, if anything, I would hope that you buttress your own views and understand why you believe, and can articulate why you believe a certain position, be it from the conservative spectrum to the other end on the liberal side. So take a look at that Hyde video. I think it's very well worth your time for the 5 minutes that it runs. The second discussion question is going to be, again, talking about voting rights and voter ID laws. And again, there's also a matrix on the weekly guidance for you to use to your advantage so that you can organize your thoughts and provide a coherent and responsive initial post to the discussion. I'll be again looking for that organization that's illustrated in the matrix. Some key things to remember for that second discussion question. I want you to really pay attention to what's going on in your particular state. What better incentive to spend some time on this final discussion question for this course than to focus in on what's going on in your backyard. Take a look and mention what voter ID laws are being contemplated in your state. They may not be widely publicized, but certainly take a look at maybe the website of your legislature, your state legislature, to see if there's anything on the table as far as voter ID laws. It's such a controversial and now topic. I think it behooves all of us to kind of take a look at that, to become more aware of what's going on with voting rights. Lastly, you have your final paper due this week. I hope that you've already completed your research and have at least outlined, if not already done, a first draft of your paper. I've encouraged you to take a look at the grading rubric to make sure that you're answering all the question prompts so that you don't get any zeros on any of those key questions that are being asked. I'm going to highlight for one thing that I may have mentioned last week, but I want to reiterate again. There's a section, a question prompt, where you're going to have to discuss 4 perspectives. Okay? So 4 perspectives, of course, entails that you're going to have to have 4 different resources, authorities on the discussion about how the executive, the president, Congress, and the U.S. Supreme Court view habeas corpus within the context specifically of the war on terror. So I'm going to be looking for 4 different perspectives, 4 different assigned sources and authorities when you talk about, the 3 different branches. And of course, you have to discuss all 3 different branches. Make sure that you get that. Unfortunately, many students in the past have overlooked that and either come up with only 2 perspectives or even 1 perspective when they're talking about all 3 of the different branches. So make sure that you answer that question prompt carefully. If you have questions, then please email me so I can clarify for you. Last but not least, authorities. You need to do citing it to your authorities in APA format. You will not be able to get credit if you list a reference but do not use it in text. Pay attention to that, correct your APA format, and make sure that you use your citations in text. So with that, I'm available all week. I'll be checking my email every night. So feel free to email me or post the Ask Your Instructor link in our classroom and ask your questions so that we can make sure that you earn the highest score that you can in this class. It's been a great pleasure having you all, and I look forward to our last few days together in discussion. Thank you.